Hello everyone and welcome to a very special edition of CLX Foundry Live, where we go inside my build and assemble it from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ BluePDX, and joining me are the masters of distraction. It is all things Paul Steffens and Hayden Hutchinson. Guys, I'm so freaking excited, and you've seen the thing before I have, and we're gonna get to all the weird stuff going inside of it. But first, we want to talk about what's going on behind you. Directly behind you, you can see that is our new NV7 build. That is the giveaway build that somebody is going to be winning at the end of this month, which is incredible. So make sure, if you want to know more, type !give NV7 and follow the link to make sure that you get all of your entries. Also, pay attention to the chat, because every now and then we may just be dropping a code for even more entries. You can find codes on our social media. That's TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube at CLX Gaming. You can find them at select times for select events in our Discord, discord.gg/CLX Gaming, and of course right here on this channel at CLX Gaming TV and over on my stream. So that being said, stick around, do the thing. There we go. Lost Drake's in the house, and I guess we can say congratulations on our newest partner, Lost Drake. Now it's official, and Thursday is going to be a real amazing show. Let me be real honest. You don't want to miss it. So, are we ready to talk about the things we're shoving inside this giant box?
Oh yeah. So, probably do a rundown of the parts first and save the case, because this case is beautiful and you haven't seen it yet, DJ. So we get to have a live reaction. I haven't seen it at all. This thing is awesome. So, yeah, I guess let's do the parts and then we'll do the case at the end. So, starting out, we've got i9-13900KF for our CPU. All going to be cooled by a Phanteks Glacier One 360 AIO. For our motherboard, we got an ASUS Maximus Z690 Formula. Beautiful motherboard here. Maybe we did it once, I think you were saying, DJ. We might have done this once on the show. I think we
might have done that or something similar to it, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful board though, so it'll be great to see that coming out. Got a custom design on our case, obviously. 1300 EVGA GT 80 plus gold, fully modular power supply, 13 fans going in this, a beautiful white 3090, the very rare 3090.
I think it's the first time we've had a white GPU.
Yeah, for
all
sure.
All white build.
Yeah, I think so too.
This is the all whites.
So we've got 4 sticks of 16 gig DDR5, 6000 speed memory, 13 fans going in this, a 1 terabyte Samsung 980 Pro drive, 4 terabyte Kingston Fury storage drive, and I think that covered white Cablemod kit, and I think we're ready for the case now. So, without further ado, DJ.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is, holy sh!
This thing is cool.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible. And what I think what's interesting is because what people can't really see, oh, look at the top, man. Oh, yeah. That's so great. What people can't see is once it's lit up from the inside, that is the it is Earth, as you can see down on the bottom. It's Earth in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I'm so jazzed about
shine
this.
Through so well once
it'll
we
look
get
better
all the fans
once
in there.
Yeah.
You'll
be able to see it all glowing.
I think that's why we had talked about doing a lighting kit, but yeah, now that you mention it, lights are going to be so bright in there. It's going to be it's going to look like the second coming of Christ.
Will we show the back?
This is awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
So obviously, I had to. I wanted to add just a little bit of my hardcore. I know that's my background, right? I wanted to add a little bit of an homage to my roots. But what was great is when Kyle and I started talking about the design on this, I was like, all right, well, we want to do an all white build, but most people keep the outside all white. What if we do something very different? And we decided to. So I'm super excited. This is going to look so incredible and so bright. I cannot freaking believe this. This is awesome. A little bit of rainbow to add some color. And here we go. So welcome everybody. Don't forget, if you have questions about the things that you're seeing here today or any of the terminologies that we use, make sure that you ask right away, because we are going to be able to answer all those questions in here. And I'm excited because this is one of my favorite cases. This and the NV7 are tops, in my opinion, for so many different reasons. And we've got a lot of fun stuff going in here. Amazing Kara's in the house. Hello. Welcome everyone. It just turned out so awesome.
It looks so good. Look at this little star up here. That looks like a power button that's on. It looks like a light that's on. That's not even on. This thing
Right?
isn't even plugged in. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited. Huge shout out to Kyle for the design. He just knocked it out of the park. I'm gonna be real honest. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. Especially with that strip on that power control guide. It looks amazing. And it all matches all the way around, so it's one giant wrap. So whatsoever sees wants to know, is this a wrap or a paint job? Paul?
So this is neither. This is a print. We have a very high-end printer that we can print images on. Takes a lot of programming and having to get the image right, but that's how this is. So it's a much sturdier finish than what you can get with most stuff, like a wrap or something. Like this, you can scratch it and all that, and it'll be fine. Obviously, we don't want to scratch it, but if we do, this thing is very durable.
Nice. So excited. So excited. Yep, printed direct to the plates. Yo, Super Dave's in the house. Hello. What's up? Everybody's popping in for this. I'm excited. This is going to be great stuff. Don't forget, on Thursday, we've got another special build. We're going to be building something incredibly awesome that is a combo package with both from AMD with CLX and the Lost Drake. Its design is also extraordinary, and I'm excited for you to see what they've managed to accomplish with this. It's going to be super cool. Nothing's ever DJ proof. Also true. Oh my goodness. So yeah. Now, obviously, I know what's going into this build because it's my build. So we made this. We came up with this concept. I want to say a year ago, just as we started, almost a year ago, just as we started the show, which is really actually cool that we're so close to our 1 year anniversary of doing this. Man, the show has evolved a lot since then.
It really has.
So let's go ahead and start off with our motherboard. This is one of the coolest motherboards ever. It's a ROG Maximus Z690 formula. One of the reasons that stood out about this is because of its consistent white theme. But that is just a mere facade on top of the extraordinary technology that goes deep inside of this motherboard.
Look at this thing.
Yeah, it's incredible. Why not the Z7? Why not the 790? Good question. So last year when I came up with this design, there wasn't, and there still isn't really, a majority white motherboard like this. This has all the bells and whistles, and it meets that color requirement. It's also got a custom screen down there, and it is still one of the most powerful boards on the market, and it's incredible what it can accomplish. So just to take a look at it, this thing has some of the fastest connectivity you could think of. PCIe 5 dual Gen 4 M.2 onboard. You've got a ROG Hyper M.2 with Gen 5 M.2 support, USB 3.2 2x2s, plus 4 USB Thunderbolt C ports, which are all incredible. And we've got that giant silver thingy.
Yeah, you've seen this? So we will include this with the build. This is not an extra video card. This is for if you end up getting a ton more M.2 drives. You can see that's what this is. This is like basically an a bunch of M.2 slots on a PCIe card with a big heatsink on it. So this will come in your accessory box, DJ. Cool. But yeah, if you ever get a bunch of M.2s, you can put them in here. You can kind of see it. You can see the little slots right here. There's more than that under here. So that's what this is. A giant heatsink. Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, this thing has some weight to it. Yeah, let's start with the basics of this board. It's got a full ARGB alignment around it all the way around. Plus, it's also got a really cool screen that you can see right there next to Hayden's wrist, and that actually provides a ton of information about the board's performance, everything from temperature to you name it. It's all going to be popped right there, which is really cool. Obviously, you can see there's a lot of framing on this because the heat management is extraordinary. So let's talk about the cooling for this device. We've got moonlight white metal crossover EK3s underneath that left IO shield. We've got an entire, so it's got a water cooling zone. So if we ever want to turn this into a open loop,
it's available on there. Plus, you've got a triple M.2 heatsink with dual M.2 backplates all right there down below that first graphics card PCIe slot that is also reinforced. And this board features one of our favorite things to talk about. It's got a button.
Oh yeah, the quick release button.
The button.
Yep. Everybody's been loving that. As far as connectivity, let's take a look at that real fast while we've got it there before we start really plugging everything into it. All right. So it's got a white I/O shield, which is going to match the case, which is really great. We've got the BIOS flash back button and the clear CMOS buttons built right in there, so it's easy access if you need to use it. It has an HDMI port out, and we're not going to be using it because we've got that wicked graphics card. Down below that, you've got 3 USB 2.0 ports, 2 right there, and 1 down below the Ethernet. We have 2 Thunderbolt 4 Type-C ports, what they call a Marvel 10 gig Ethernet port. That thing is just crazy fast. Plus, we've got 7 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A's and 1 USB Type C, plus Wi-Fi 6E, optical out, 5 different gold-plated audio jacks for any possible thing that I could think about using, 6 SATA 6 gig connectors, 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 connectors, and 1 USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 for your front panel, and that means you got 20 gigs. That's 10 up, 10 down on the 2x2s, which is amazing.
That's insane.
So fast.
I really
So
like
yeah,
the back of the board.
Oh, I've never seen the what? That looks cool.
That is very nice. Do not see a backplate on a motherboard that often.
That is gorgeous. Now, how does that help? How does that aid in the performance? Does it add additional cooling options, or is this strictly aesthetic?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, it's probably an aesthetic thing. I think you can get away with saying it's performance because it'll help transfer some heat and it'll keep good airflow going in. You can see there's a gap between there, but I think it's mostly aesthetic.
It's mainly just for looks.
But it looks really good. It looks really nice. So
it looks so cool, dude. I'm so jazzed about this. Oh my gosh. This, by the way, board does come with Bluetooth 5.2. We are going to be putting Windows 11 Pro on it because Easy Tunes said that if I don't put Windows 11 Pro on it, he will find me and strangle me. So there we go. Community giveaways at 75% complete. Put your points every stream, and we're going to get up to 200,000. Easy Tunes are like, yeah, you're right. And if they don't, I'm personally going to scream. So we're doing Windows 11 Pro. Oh, Nicola's in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. And a huge shout out and thank you to everybody at CLX for making this happen. I have been running on my machine for, well, 6+ years. We've talked a lot about it, about the very crappy
your push
airflow
pull
in it.
120 situation.
It's got a push-pull 120 on it.
Yeah.
So let's talk real fast about the processor for starters. I decided to go with an i9 13900KF. The KFs tend to run a little cooler, and that's why I decided, okay, let's go with that. But that is the fastest processor they've made on the market today, and I'll be upgrading from an i9 9900K. So from a performance difference, Paul, how big of a gap am I jumping?
That's a big back. So essentially, a big gap. So essentially, you're jumping 4 generations forward, which is pretty awesome. This is a 24-core, 32-thread processor, base speed of 3.0 with a boost of 5.8. And you have selected overclocking, so we will be overclocking this as well. But yeah, you got 24 cores, 32 threads. That's nuts. This does have the E cores and the P cores, so when you're not gaming, it will also be power efficient, which is nice too.
Awesome. Just because I decided to look it up and compare the 13900KF to the i9 9900K, and when it comes to the overclock score alone, it's nearly twice as fast, which is nuts. Just a standard average 8-core score, you would get 981 points according to user benchmark. It's 1736 for the i9 13900. So,
wow.
You know, I'm still incredibly amazed.
I can't even remember. It's been so long. Wow. So going from 8 cores to 24 cores.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of nuts. Yeah, no, yeah. Holy Lord. This is going to be so fast. Real quick, for those who may not understand the E and P, what do we got when it comes to E cores and P cores for this?
Yeah, so we've got, I believe we have 8. What was that? So I don't have the exact, I believe we've got 12 P cores and 12 E cores, with the P cores having hyperthreading. So essentially what that means is you've got efficiency cores and performance cores. So the efficiency cores are there for when you're just browsing, you know, Google, whatever, doing your thing, not gaming. Then the performance cores are there for the gaming environment. So that way your computer isn't using up a ton of power when you're just like browsing the internet. I was initially kind of like, I just want all my cores to be super fast. But once I saw this in our testing environment, I really do like this. I like the power efficiency of it.
It's real nice.
Yeah, I'm super jazzed about this. This is going to be so lit.
You won't need an upgrade forever.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Forever.
Yeah,
You heard
right?
it from Hayden. If you do, he's got to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Comes straight out of my check.
Yep. 10 years down the road. when you- So. All right.
I will
yeah,
say,
go ahead and-
like, the only thing I'm going to be saving up for eventually is a 4090, a Strix 4090, but I don't think that's going to be needed for the near future, because that's
Comes out of my check.
Hayden
so
says
first of all,
nope. Stay with the white.
here's the thing. We'll talk about this a little more, but I pulled up the benchmarks between what I have currently and what we're going to be upgrading to, and the numbers are pretty fantastic. It's actually really impressive. So let's start with, obviously, we've got the CPU pop right there. If you're going to be placing a CPU in there, Hayden, what's your best practice to make sure you got that thing in there correctly?
Well, like I've said before, on your actual bracket cover, there's going to be a triangle. And then on your processor itself, there's going to be a triangle. And you're going to want to line up those 2 chips. There's only one way this can go in, so once it gets placed, it should fall right into place. You just lock it in.
Easy peasy.
Nice. All right. So now that we got that in, what's the next step?
We can do M.2s. And then
Yeah,
RAM.
let's go to storage next, since we've got
So,
a couple things
let's-
here.
Let's do the M.2s. So I decided, because honestly, after Easy Tunes talked to me about getting an M.2 for my system here, I did so right before my solid state drive died, sadly. So I have in this system a 2 terabyte M.2, and when I loaded my games to that M.2, they loaded faster. I got into things faster. I got into matches faster, and there was a faster response time. So because you kind of want to keep things separated on your drives, I chose for my operating system drive to have a 1 terabyte Samsung 980 Pro PCIe 4 NVMe hard drive, and that's going to be going directly under this plate, which has so far, that's the Hyper M.2. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. I wonder if there's one on the bottom of that.
Like a little cover.
Oh, there's
Yeah, there is.
the plastic sheet on the back of the screen.
Yeah, there is.
We're gonna leave that on there for you to take off, DJ.
I would never.
Oh.
Hayden said I would
But
never.
looking at the back of it, look at the tight, like that is just absolute aluminum right there.
Notice the wire connected to our
Yeah.
heatsink for that screen.
Yes.
That screen is really nice. I have used it on
love
a
it.
couple different ASUS boards, nothing this high end, but when I'm doing a BIOS update, I love it. It'll just show you an actual progress bar and like how close it is. Very cool.
Yeah,
And
this
you
thing,
can put
it's,
whatever you want on that screen, I believe. You can program it to do all sorts of things.
oh, I'm losing you on Discord. Say what?
Oh no. Oh, I was saying you can use the screen, you can program anything you want on that screen. So there's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I could be mixing it up with a different board, but there's a GIF that plays on a loop when you boot it
Yeah.
up.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
And then we
Yep,
take
so
off.
I can put a logo there, or
Yeah. We take
Yeah.
off this copper
super
plate,
jazzed.
take it to the other slots.
This is exciting. So many pipes going into this IO shield, and we've talked about how oftentimes the heat sinks, especially around the processor, look like
Look at that.
Oh my gosh, what is that?
It even looks cool without
is
it.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. And is that another screen? Oh, no, that's what goes underneath the oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun.
So this area that kind of looks like a screen, this will be all lighted, and that's what's going to light the logo once we put the cover plate back on.
Oh, that is
I was like, this thing
so
looks
cool.
cool without even a plate on.
Yeah.
So that's,
yeah. All right, for our second drive, because I wanted to have enough room to not have to constantly be installing and uninstalling and reinstalling stuff, I chose to go with a 4 terabyte Seagate FireCuda 530 NVMe M.2. So it is 4 terabytes on that lower one, plus the 1 terabyte on the operating system. So we've got a total of 5 terabytes there. I will probably be adding my 2 terabyte from this machine onto there as well at some point. So there you go.
Yeah, you can fit 2 under here, and then if you ever want to add more M.2s, you can use your
big card.
hyper card.
Yeah. Which also would make it just easy.
Yeah, you can see.
And it's awesome. This thing
Plug
is
it
so
in.
cool looking.
Yeah, it really is. This thing looks great.
It's the best looking board,
Let's get
in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I started looking at these things, and we had to talk about, like, because white systems were just becoming to kick off last year, that we were starting to see them being more prevalent. And so George and I talked about this, and that was when I came up with the idea of let's do something all sorts of white. So, which I'm super excited for. Super excited. Now, in the wonderful world of all things Fury, let's talk about the RAM, and I chose to have 4 16 gig sticks of Kingston DDR5 6000 RAM. So that's 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 total. Now that means, so how does increasing the speed and the size of RAM affect a system?
So back in the day, RAM was pretty much referred to as speed. So RAM was your system speed. That's changed a little bit as times progress, but RAM is still a big part of, getting high FPS in your games. So having this much memory is great. A lot of new games now, like AAA titles, can be very RAM intensive.
We're getting to a point where 16's minimum.
Right, yeah, where 16 is getting to be minimum. So 64, you are set.
Future proofing. That's Kingston Beast too. It's so cool looking. That's very Stormtrooper-esque right there,
Yeah, it's very fast.
And to give you all a little bit of background on what I have currently in my current system, I do have, thanks to a friend who helped me upgrade my RAM and get me an extra 16 gigs. Thank you, Drake. I have 32 gigs of RAM in this gaming system, but it's only 2400 speed. So I don't even know if this is DDR3 or 4.
This is,
but
that would be DDR4 for that speed.
Okay. Which means we're making a considerable jump in speed and capacity and just throughput.
Yeah.
Hold that.
Oh, yep.
Drake is like, I want to see the case. I think they took all the panels off the case, dude.
We stripped it.
Let's see. I'll get the back panel for you, Drake, so you can see
Knockyard. No, Knockyard's here.
helmet on it.
Oh my gosh, Knockyard, how are you? Knockyard is one of the best level designers and map designers for Griffball and Halo. He's absolutely incredibly talented. But yeah, so that's just the back plate, Drake, which is incredible. As far as fans, we're gonna have 13 fans. We're gonna create a push-pull on this device with the radiator. For the radiator, I decided to go with the it's the Phanteks Glacier One 360. It is an ARGB or a DRGB AIO. Now, this is an all-in-one system because I didn't really trust myself with an open loop until I saw that distro plate build, and now I've got a new craze that I'm just fascinated with that thing. But this way, I don't have to take any of the water out. I don't really have to do a whole lot when it comes to maintenance on it. But for those who are wondering what the difference is between an open loop and a closed loop, because we're going to be, I believe, doing an open loop on Thursday. Walk us through the different ways to cool a processor, Paul.
Yeah, so you've got a couple different categories for cooling your processor, and then within those categories, we're going to break those down too. But starting out, we've got air-cooled and liquid-cooled. So air-cooled is where you see the fan that's on a block of metal that sits on top of your CPU. It's what we have in some of these systems in the background here. So that would be air cooled. Usually those fans come with the processor. Then you've got liquid cooling, and that's broken down into two categories. You've got closed loop, which is what we've got right here, and open loop. So the closed loop is just that. This is the loop for the cooling is closed. We will not be opening it, adding any coolant. The coolant is already in here. All we have to do is install the mounting hardware, which Hayden is doing right now, and this will be good to go. An open loop is, we've done a couple of those now on the show, so if you want to see those are, I'm sure those are on YouTube now and on our past Twitch streams. But that's where we actually custom bend the tubes. You can do soft tubing as well. Typically we just do hard tubing here, but we do some soft tubing. And that's where we actually put everything in, then we fill up the reservoir and the whole systems ourselves, bleed the system. It's a lot more labor intensive. They look really cool, but they are pretty intense.
Yeah. And one thing that I will be using this machine for until I get my streaming rig figured out, which I may just convert my old gaming rig into a new streaming rig, but being able to produce and process music on here. And that's one thing that I'm intrigued about finally getting back into, because I'll have a system capable of really pushing that out without issue. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And as you all know, that I love and prefer, just personal preference, gaming on Intel machines, but I love producing on an AMD machine. That's why I have one of each in my setup. So great fun. So we got push pulls we're gonna do, and this is a little bit different than what we've normally seen. So Paul, what does it mean, and how does that affect the efficiency of the AIO?
Yeah, so typically when mounting fans to your AIO, you want to have them in a way that's going to be pushing air through the fins. That's going to provide better cooling. So if I have the fans like this, the air is going to be coming in on this side, pushing it through the radiator and out this side. So that would be a push method. Now if I put this fan on this side, in this direction, it would be pulling air through the radiator. Now this will still work, it's just not as good as having it on the other side. So if you can have it pushing through in your build, definitely do that. If not, the way your case is set up, you have to have your fans on this side, that's fine. But a push pull is where we're gonna have fans on both sides. So we're gonna have a big liquid cooler sandwich here. And we're gonna have fans just like this. So when you push pull, you want to be using the same model fans, which obviously we're doing, but this does provide an increase in cooling that is noticeable, probably about 5 or 6 degrees. It does depend on your CPU and everything, but I've been pretty impressed with how much better it can cool with a push pull rather than just pushing.
Done a lot of
So I do have a couple
those.
questions coming in from chat.
Like crazy.
Yeah. A couple questions coming in from chat. So In Need of Temperance asks, open versus closed, why do you have to replace the fluid in an open loop every so often, but a closed loop can be functional for a few years?
Yeah, so
the liquid inside the AIOs is meant for long-term use, so it doesn't get gunked up. Probably about, I don't want to give like a time frame, but a good 5 years.
Yeah, I think that would probably be a safe bet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
With open loop, you shouldn't really have to change it super often.
No,
right?
yeah,
it's just you have to. There's air that's in the system, and anytime you add fluid to a system, like your brakes on a car or something like that, you got to bleed the system of air. So we do all that here, but there's some air bubbles that just get in certain areas that just aren't going to come out until the systum's been running for a certain amount of hours. So that's where you can see a drop in your fluid level after you've been gaming on it for a few hours. You might have to add some fluid. So
if you had your open loop for like a year, 2 years, and you didn't do anything to it, like you didn't add liquid, it's gonna get gunked up. It's just, that's something that's gonna happen unless you were to top it off and fix up that liquid.
Yeah.
It's more maintenance.
The enemies. We had one question coming in from Ranma about what's the best practice for thermal paste, and to talk about that, we should definitely let Hayden. You want to run away with that one real quick, because we are doing something special. We're doing the upgraded thermal paste on this.
We're going to be using the Thermal Grizzly. Since we're overclocking this, and it's going to help to have a higher end paste. But just like before, you always want to just do a pea-sized amount. and that's all you'll need. You won't need any more than that. It will dissipate and spread out evenly over time, so yeah.
Awesome. And then we had the question of why the all-white color, do the whole black and color build. Well, here's the thing. Because of the design that Kyle and I created for the outside, there's a darkness to the fact the planet is there. And the whole point of that design is so that the lights on the inside will backlight that globe and will really make it and really set it apart. And I'm super excited for us to see it. That's why I chose it. I've never had a white PC. I've never seen it, but a lot of my peripherals are white. Like, obviously, as a Logitech partner, they've sent me a whole bunch of fun stuff. So that was a me call, and I'm super jazzed about it. We've got a question from Whatever Sees, level 100 question for y'all. How do you keep dust off and away from your rig, and how often do you need to open it up and clean it? It's a good question.
Bingo bongo, good question. All right, so we have these. For this Lian Li case, it comes with dust filters for all of our openings here. So this is what we're gonna use to keep dust out of our system. This one goes in the top, so it's obviously gonna be flipped around this way, and the top panel sit over it. There's more of these on the back panel as well. So this is gonna catch all the dust, hair, all that stuff you don't want in your machine. So you definitely wanna have some magnetic filters installed. To change these out, you just pull the panel off, pull it off, wipe it down, rinse it off, no big deal. Very easy to clean, very easy to maintain. Definitely recommend getting some of these. Now, even with these filters, there will be a small amount of dust that just can't get filtered that will get in your system. For that, you can use a spray can, a duster. That's what I would recommend. If you're really getting in there and you really want to just dive into the hobby, there are vacuums that you can get that are anti-static vacuums specifically designed for computer systems. You know, your regular daily user isn't going to need that, but if you're really into the hobby and you want to, you know, buy something to really take care of your stuff, you can go that route too.
DJ doesn't have to deal with much hair. Yeah, except for that dog hair. You'd think that my dogs would be bald by now. They don't even come into the basement, and I've got dog hair in the basement. It's absurd. Let's see here. I ain't holding anybody up this time. Okay, that's also true. There we are. Okay, this is looking so great so far. Obviously, we've got that AIO on. We're going to start putting the fans in place. Good Lord, there's so much detail on this board. I'm super excited about this. And for anybody who's wondering, like, yes, why is it kind of look like it's got an internal theme of the Stormtroopers? If you've ever seen me play a video game, you know how my aim is or is not. And I very much embody the, I would say, concentration and prowess of a Stormtrooper. So there we go.
And this AIO too has this this cover plate that's going to have a infinity mirror on it as well. So this is going to sit in here. We're going to install this afterwards so that we can run the wire. But that's what it really looks like once it's in the system there.
Now, good question is coming in is that we're using 13 fans on this build total. So Ranma asked, how are they mounting the fans on the AIO? Good question.
Yeah, so we were mounting them on both sides. You can see Hayden's putting in the fans that are going to be pulling air through on the radiator now. And then when this is in the case, we will actually use the fans on the other side and go through the case. And that's what will mount the radiator to the case. So you'll see those fans getting mounted once we have the motherboard and everything else inside the case.
Yeah.
I really like the black screws on the white.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
It adds to it.
This is going to be so cool. And as you know, of course, as a Star Wars fan, I'm a Star Wars and Star Trek fan, so you know, don't hurt me. But like that's why one of my favorite things that I use on my streams is we have TIE fighters, all sorts of different. TIE fighters have been a theme for me for a very long time. Whoops, there we go. Get that one. So there we go. That is all the TIE fighters just from my community, which is great. Code soon. Code? What do you mean code? Keep your eyes out, people. Shasta's in the house. We got codes coming. Yeah, the enemies.
There's not enough coding modes
I absolutely love these.
Code yet.
What processor did I go with again? I went with the i9 13900KF. That is an overclockable processor, but it doesn't have the graphics chip on it because we're going with this overclocked and heavy card called the Strix ROG White RTX 3090 edition. And we are going, by the way, with overclocking on both of these devices. I've never had an overclocked PC before, so letting the guys kind of go ham with the graphics card and my processor is going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm also pretty excited because I'm really hoping I get to play like a myriad of different games in Ultimate. I've never played a game in Ultra, which sounds bizarre, but yeah.
Yeah, now you can play all the games in Ultra at the same time.
Yes. At the same time.
Yep.
3 different games at once.
Yeah, 3 monitors, 1 for each game.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, and by the way, for those of you who are wondering what we're talking about, Dallas, DreamHack Dallas comes in on the 1st. We're leaving out on the 1st of June. We will be there for the 2nd, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of June in Dallas, Texas. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So now we're looking at this case. Before we go into that, real quick, can you just point out the ports on this case? Let's talk about that ventilation.
Yeah. So on the front here, we've got a couple connectors. We've got 2 USB 3.0s up here, headset mic port, USB Type-C, and then down here at the bottom, we've got 2 more USB 3.0s as well. And then all of our power buttons and other buttons here.
And what's great is because that USB-C, there's a front port for the USB-C on this board that is a 2x2. It's a 3.2 2x2, which gives 20 gigs. That's 10 gigs up, 10 gigs down at the same time. So I'm again, having a USB-C port on a computer, haven't had one yet. This is my first one with USB-C ports.
Got these fans in here.
You want to do the fans next?
We'll do the fans first.
All right.
All right.
Start getting some case fans in here before we mount the motherboard.
And as we're getting that started, you can see there's feet on the bottom of this, and you can see right there is a great shot of that lower tray where we've also got an additional magnetic filter that can just pull right out, gives plenty of space underneath. I'm going to be putting this, to be honest, I'm going to be putting this on display on the CLX crate, the sarcophagus that it comes in, because of the fact that A, it's raised and people can see it, B, I'm going to have to completely rearrange this entire studio so that I can really showcase this bad boy off, because I'm gonna be honest, this case is nuts, absolutely nuts. I'm just so jazzed right now.
Yeah, this is definitely a showpiece. This one is great.
Now, how are we going to be mounting this to the? Are we doing them all on the top? Push pull on the top?
So actually, we'll be doing it right here. And I wanted to ask you, it depends on how, it's your build. There's 2 ways we can push pull it. We can either have our radiator and all our fans on the inside, or we can have our radiator, fan, and then have the back 3 fans on the other side. It's up to you.
What does George think? I'm going to be honest, like, I feel like having more light and color out front is probably better, especially to help light up that. So, because we've got a dark element on the bottom of that needs to be lit. So
that'll help a lot, actually.
All inside? Let's do it all inside. Yep. Now, luckily, the back of the back panel on this case is not corrugated, it's ventilated so that you can see right through it, and it's going to be able to provide a lot of good air for intake for that. So it'll be pulling in across the back. Here we go. Yeah.
And then we've got our filters here, so we've obviously got one for each side. But
which is going to be cool.
Yeah, our liquid cooler will be pulling air in through here. And our power supply will be pulling air through in on this side.
And then we're going to have 4 fans for exhaust. We'll have the 3 on top, and then the 1 on the rear of the device as well, plus the 3 intakes that we'll be placing on the bottom as well. Yes, Toxic Rat, this is mine. I'm so excited. Yeah. This is fun. I'm digging it. So up next, and I obviously, again, the paint job on that front panel is just that little strip looks so cool.
It looks so good. This is a hard one to get too. We weren't sure how to, when we were designing and figuring out how we were going to do these designs, this was a tough one to figure out because there's a lot of this case that you don't really ever take out that has to be taken out to get that off. So that specific panel right here is the hardest one to do.
A lot of screws holding it in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hidden too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake, my current rig is not, well, it's not great. It's good. It's fine. It's adequate, but it's easing its way into obsolescence. Let's take a look at what I'm running. Again, I'm running right now an i9 9900K. It is not overclocked, but it is a K. I've got an RTX 2070 and then 32 gigs of DDR4 2400 RAM. So we're not only going to be doubling the amount of RAM, we're also doubling the speed of the RAM. My SSD is a 2 terabyte M.2, and yeah, so comparatively, the 13900 is basically nearly twice as fast as the 9900. The RTX 2070, if you look at this, so I did pull up the benchmarks on the RTX 2070 versus the overclocked 3090, and again, wildly different performances. Like just the average score for lighting alone goes from 128 with the 2070 to 310 with the 3090, which is just wild, absolutely wild. Huge, massive difference in performance here, which I'm super jazzed about.
Should we get the card out and look at it? It's so pretty. I think we should get it out a little early.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and pull that out real quick. This is a ROG Strix white overclocked edition of the 3090 graphics card. Now, this is really cool because it's already an overclocked edition, and then we're going to step it up a little bit further even. I'll be honest, the first, and unfortunately, this one doesn't come with the ring. I really want one of those Strix rings, though. Those Strix rings that come in the...
I'll see what I can find, DJ. No promises.
Oh,
I'll see what I can find. I might be able to get you one.
Oh, that would be awesome. So, close my eyes. What? Wait, why am I closing my eyes? What happened? Oh, it's gonna be like... Oh, So couple cool things about the way that this card is built. And this card's definitely designed differently than the other 3090s that ROG produces. For starters, they use two different fan designs on this. So if you look at the front, you'll notice that the two outer fans are 11 blade. The center fan is a 13 blade. The center fan blade will rotate clockwise. The two outers rotate counterclockwise to create a better airflow and a quicker cooling opportunity. So yes, CPU will be overclocked, Radical. We are definitely overclocking that. I'm going to leave that to the gentleman on screen because I'm definitely not smart enough. Look at the back. That back plate is gorgeous. This thing also is full RGB. The fans not only light up, but so does that backfield right there where you see it. That whole thing lights up, which is incredible.
I'm not jealous.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. You don't see these very often. This is a good...
It's a rare.
It is rare. This is a rare one right here.
Yeah, it's got their Super Alloy Power 2 design for it. It includes a premium alloy chokes, solid polymer capacitors, and an array of high current power stages. Plus, it's got GPU Tweak 2, which allows you to control the thermal controls and system monitoring, which is just wildly awesome. So, and of course, the fan thing was one of the things that absolutely fascinated me. And apparently, you're not this averages about 50 Celsius for its temperature when it's at full speed. It also features something called Max Contact for heat sink. So they've got a larger base plate to connect to your to sit over the top of your processor, so it's got more area to disperse that heat, which is kind of wild to see. Speaking of base plates and how they connect, Paul, could you grab that 1050? Let's show people what the kind of base plate that was on the original designs for this 1050 Ti.
Yeah, so this is our handy dandy 1050 Ti here. If you've watched the show before, you have seen this. So what we like to show here, and let me see, they do a really good job of hiding the PCB on this card. So I'm going to show you on your card, DJ. Our PCB extends out to here. It's kind of this orange yellowish on screen board. You can definitely see the pins there. So I'm just pointing that out to show you that on our 1050 Ti. Now on the 1050 Ti, it's obviously shorter, but it's the same width. And you can tell the card extends a little bit past that, and it's the same for our 3090 here. So when you take all the shroud off, all the fans, all the heat pipes, this is what you're left with. And so this is the same for that 3090, is this small board right here. This is your GPU. This is what's doing all of your graphical processing. Our GPU itself is right there. That's why there's thermal paste on it. And we've got our memory chips here. Just very cool to see that this is your video card, this thin little thing right here. Yeah. And that the bulk of the video card, the fans, the heat spreader, the heat sinks, all that stuff is just to deal with the heat that the card generates.
Yes, you could cook a tiny small piece of beef on that thing.
Yes.
Because it gets so hot so fast.
I mean, you could.
True.
You could, but should you?
Yeah, we're gonna use barbecue sauce.
Depends. If
for
it's
our
Wagyu, we might as well. Just don't season it. The video Ivory sent me, this dude was seasoning the beef on the processor, on the motherboard. It's just salt and pepper all over his motherboard.
Salt and pepper?
Yeah. Cooking beef on your processor is one thing, but putting salt and pepper all
Better
over your
crust,
motherboard?
Paul.
That's true, yeah. Season it before you throw it on there.
Yeah.
One thing to note about this graphics card is that it does have seven completely different tubes.
Yeah, and sometimes you can see those out here if they don't put a cover on. You can, if you look far in here, I'll try to show you. If we look, we want to look kind of in deep around here. I'll try to show them. They're hard to see, but you can see them. If you see the little nubs on the end there.
Oh yeah, there they are.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Those are those heat pipes I was talking about. Then obviously that's what the heat pipes are connected to the fins here, and that's where the heat goes, and the fans blow the heat away.
Which is awesome. And again, one of the things that Paul and I love about graphics cards, especially these days, are the ones that cover the ends. Like that was one of our things we loved about that Intel Arc card, which was gorgeous. The end was completely covered, and I've noticed they've done that here. It just looks cleaner. It's interesting. Now, there is one thing that they have mentioned here that I'm confused on. What does it mean if a graphics card is dual BIOS?
So that would mean, like, let's say, so I believe this card has it. Now we should see a little switch here. So we can go back to that other shot again, Jason. Sorry to keep going to it. So you can see we've got a P mode and a Q mode. Now I'm sure that stands for performance. I'm not sure what the Q stands for. They all kind of name them differently. Now I'll try to get it. Maybe if we go to the overhead real quick, because I really want to show the text on here.
It does give you a performance versus quiet mode for basic customization of the card's default. There we go.
So we have there's actually a switch right here. You can see by my finger.
Physical.
Yep, a physical switch. So if you want, your system to be quiet and you're not worried about gaming, you can switch this to quiet mode, and it's going to have those fans either not spinning or spinning very slowly depending on the need of the card. Now, if you want to go into P mode, performance mode for like gaming, you want to max out your frames, you can put that switch to the left, and that's what that does. Usually I don't mess with these switches. Whatever they come from the factory is usually what I leave it at. This one is in P mode, so honestly that's what I would recommend leaving it as.
Yeah.
The system is going to be quiet enough anyways. There we go. You can kind of see the nub of the switch there. So that's what that is.
There we go. Perfect. And of course, just to point out, the I/O bracket for this whole device is also stainless steel. This card is just, it's incredible. The lighting features it has on it, it has 8 different light modes. 8. Which I'm assuming will all connect to and be part of that theme that we've got going inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once we get this through testing, that's when we can load some profiles on there. Yeah. And, and then you can obviously mess with it however you want, DJ. Yeah. So
awesome. That's now one thing I do notice that it did say and mention it's got 3 8-pin power connectors for it.
Yeah.
So how does that compare to old, like the 20 series versus the 40 series when it comes to connectivity?
So the 20 series, I'm not sure if we saw some 20 series have 3 power connectors. Maybe
Really?
the 2080 Ti's. I think MSI might have had one.
2080.
But
Yeah.
3, you know, cards usually used to have 2 8-pins, an 8 and a 6, 2 6-pins, a variation of an 8 and a 6, sometimes a single one of them. But once the cards started getting more power hungry, started needing more connectors. So you can see here we've got 3 8-pin connectors. Now what's nice about
That
this
is
card
wild.
over like a newer 40 series card is that 40 series card will have a dongle that wouldn't match your cables. So you're actually going to have 3 white cables going into this. So it's going to be a really good look on that part.
It's gonna be so cool.
Speaking of cables,
It's gonna be so cool.
Speaking of cables,
let's get the cables.
Hayden's ready for some cables.
I need
Oh,
to-
there we go.
I
Because
need
we've
to
got a
run
cable
these.
mod kit. So, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So cable mod kits, obviously they work with certain power supply units. So let's walk through what these cable mods do and why they are cool.
Yeah, so we're obviously using a fully modular power supply for this build. So when you use a fully modular power supply, you can opt for braided cables in any color that matches your build or doesn't match your build. There's every color under the sun. When you're ordering these, you just want to make sure they're compatible with your power supply. Some modular power supplies don't have cable kits for them, so if that's something you're interested in, look that up before you buy one. We offer a lot of different colors here. If there's a color you don't see that you want in your build, just let us know. We will get it. But essentially, these cables are actually going to replace the stock cables that come with our power supplies. These will go straight from the power supply to the component that they are plugged into.
Oh, wow.
So
Awesome.
Yeah, these look great. TJ obviously went with white to match the build. The white cables pop. I really
With
like
the
the white
black
cables.
combs.
Yeah, with the black combs, it looks really good. So Hayden's putting these combs on right now. I'll get one. Oops, sorry, Hayden. Just trying to hold your hand. So these are.
I love how clean and organized these make this look.
Yeah, the cable
You can see
combs are
that
like
I
the
got-
finishing touch. Yeah, we'll use this as an example. So cable combs are like a comb for your hair, except for they're for your
Yeah.
cables. So they're these little pieces. Now we will put these into our cables like you can see Hayden's done here, and this allows it to just keep those cables perfectly straight when they're plugged in. So all you're going to see, like this is our CPU cable right here. So all you're going to see is this perfect bend with the cables just looking as neat as can be. And then once they're on, you can slide the cables around too if you need to adjust them or anything, which is nice.
Yeah.
Cable mods just look the best. I honestly don't really like doing builds without, just
Yeah.
because I'm so used to them. If I ever did another personal build, I would have one.
Use cable mod. Yeah.
Drake's over here saying you won't break it. Drake, you will, and you know you will, and it's okay because it's expected. We plan on it ahead of time.
Okay, let's get the board.
Get
Drop
the board
drop the
inside
board
the
in,
case.
and
All
then I
right,
can get
yeah.
these plugged
We
in.
kind of got a messy area right here. What is it called?
We
Like,
got a lot of stuff going into one case. This is going to be great.
is it like Misu
All right.
Pause or Misu Play? You
Yeah,
know,
I think so.
the thing that they talk about on Food Network. You got to keep your area clean.
Now,
Clean.
Anybody
as
know
we're
what
looking
I'm
down, you can
talking
see
about? Maybe not.
I think I do.
All right, there you go.
as we're looking down at this shot, you can see the 9 standoffs that are going to be what the motherboard sits onto. Can one of you explain what a standoff is, why it's important, and why it is important they all line up?
Yeah, so those standoffs, you can see Hayden just set that motherboard on. That's going to separate the motherboard from the case. So we need those standoffs in there so that our motherboard isn't just sitting on a sheet of metal. That would cause it to short out. So that's why the standoff placement is important as well. You don't want to stand off in a spot where there isn't a mounting hole in your motherboard, because that means you'll be making contact with the motherboard and you potentially could short something out. It's much better to be missing a
one of the-
standoff than to have an extra one.
And of course, the one of the biggest signs that you might have a mismatch with your board and your case is if your PCIe slots don't line up.
Yep.
Looking at you, Drake.
Oh, is that Drake's build? I've heard the story, but I didn't know
That
it
was Drake's.
Drake's.
That was Drake's build.
That's funny.
We've heard the story a lot.
Yeah, we heard that story a lot. Didn't know it was Drake. That's funny.
I never said it was, but now that we're Thursday, we're going to be recovering that, and Thursday is going to be awesome because his build is coming out. Thanks to wonderful folks over at AMD. It's going to be lit and awesome. What's the specs? So, Mighty Endeavor, we have got a 13900 KF processor with 13 fans that have all been that are being mounted. I've got a push-pull on my 360 radiator, plus 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 RAM, 1 terabyte M.2 for my operating system, and a 4 terabyte M.2 for my game drive. And then we've got a special overclock white edition of the RTX 3090 card by ASUS, Republic of Gamers. It's a Strix build, and it's going to be so fast comparatively. So awesome. I'm loving this thing. I'm also super intrigued about what's going to be happening to those happening on that screen. Can't wait for that. Yes, well, we planned this out a year ago, and that's 3090 Ti. I was looking for a white one, and so that's what we decided to do. This compared to the 2070, that 3090 is nearly twice as fast and efficient as what I've been gaming on. So I should still be able to pull things in Ultra. It'll be great. Oh my gosh, look at that. 100 people, NV7 HL47. Let's go. We got a code.
Code time.
Code hype.
Oh.
There it is. Yeah, that is one. You know, you brought that up, and that is one trade-off that I don't like. That is unfortunate. That the you know, the newer cards, they do not cover. Most of them do not have Cablemod kits.
Yeah. It always kind of feels bad when you're got these nice braided cables and you're plugging them into a dongle to plug in your video card. I'm sure, you know, eventually, as more time goes by, they'll develop one for it. But
yeah. So to answer Twisted Dad's question, that is for the giveaway that is located. You can see it behind. Well, no, because my thing's in the way. But we're giving away a PC this month. It is an NV7 build, and it's absolutely incredible. If you click that link right there, you'll be able to get yourself into the drawing for that, and one lucky person is going to walk away with that PC at the end of the month. And we're giving away codes worth a myriad of different number of extra entries. Some of them are unlimited. Everybody can use them. Some of them are only the first 100, 50, or even 25. I know I'll be giving one out today on my stream, depending on how. Let's see. I think today we're going to be doing a. We're going to do a 25er today. We'll do a 25er. It's for a copy of Halo 1. Shut up. There we go. One thing to note on this case, once we've got it at this angle, the Lian Li utilizes what I like to call a 2/3 build. So the motherboard, as you'll note, isn't sitting completely up against the back. It's out in the open. It's got a lot of room for it to breathe behind it. Plus, you've got those two boxes you can see against those two plates. Those are hot swappable hard drive bays. So what does that mean? It's a hot swappable hard drive bay.
Yeah, so that's where our 2.5-inch and 3.5-inch drives are going to be going into. Now, I do have one of those bays up here that we can use as an example, so we don't got to pull one of those out. Now, DJ doesn't have any 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives in this system yet, but all the SATA cables and SATA power are going to be plugged in. You can see on this box here, the cables come out. That way, whenever you do decide to add in those drives, all you have to do is install them in the tray and just slide them in here. There's SATA connections in the back there that you can see. If I get this just right. There we go. So the trays will just slide in and make the connection, and you won't have to worry about running any cables or anything.
Yeah, that's great. And like so here's the thing: I do have some 3.5-inch hard drives that I've been looking to try and you know, just hook up to a system and get the data off. Except for they're old enough that they are the OG SCSI ribbon. So I'm just gonna have to get an external device and just shove them in there, block them off, and throw them in there. But honestly, this makes it so easy for me to get like an 8 or 10 terabyte storage drive and just throw it right in the back. It'll be so simple.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
As far as like
that's one of the things I
practicality
like.
of this case, that is the best part about this case, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like just not having to worry about running a SATA cable is like so nice. Or like, oh, I used a modular power supply and I don't have any SATA, so now I got to go find my box of cables and plug them in. You know, like they're already all plugged in. It's very nice, very convenient.
Regarding the 3090's performance, to be honest, like I game at 1440p 144, which is easily attainable with a 3090, especially an overclocked 3090. Now, if I was gaming at 4K, trying to hit those high FPS like 144, 240 hertz, that I can see, but that's not something I do. My monitor would burn it, burn itself alive. So yeah, the 3090 is going to be perfectly powerful enough. And it's also going to fit the build. Looks so cool, dude. It looks really so cool.
Good.
Speaking of things that are cool, I do want to welcome our latest partner. It is the Lost Drake, who's also partnered up with AMD Red Team. And so the Lost Drake, who's now a CLX partner as well, has a code that's going live on Thursday. We're going to be taking him into his build and having him here with us to build this out. It's going to be absolutely amazing. It is an open loop system that he's custom designed and assisted with Kyle doing it, and they have found that right balance. It's going to be incredible, and you want to show up. That's going to be on Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. Don't miss it. It's going to be wild. And then on Tuesday, guess what we've got? Tuesday, we are going to be celebrating reaching an incredible milestone for this channel. Given the fact that we've only been doing the show for about 11 months, we've managed to bring this channel and the followership past 25,000 followers. Over 25,000 people have followed this channel and continue to grow. And as we as a community continue to grow, we want to celebrate that. So on Tuesday, we've got a mega secret, super special build that I know everything about. And it's definitely going to have a on it. So there we go. So it's super secret build.
It's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. Plus, we're going to be giving away. We've got gift subs we'll be giving away. We've got Amazon gift cards we'll be giving away. So you want to be here for that because I'm excited. I know that you're probably excited. I'm just super jazzed about the whole thing. So that's going to be Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern, right here on our channel. Don't forget, if you've missed an episode, want to check out what's happened previous on the show, head on over to our YouTube channel. That's CLX Gaming on YouTube. You can find all sorts of things, including some of our latest builds and our open loop system builds, which are super fun. So yes, and that's going to be a wild show on Tuesday.
Yeah, we're gonna have Zach and Hayden and myself up here. It's gonna be we're just gonna have we're gonna have a fun stream next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, we're just gonna have a fun. I've got some pretty cool stuff planned. I just want to say that.
But my motherboard is bleeding. Oh, blending in. Got it. I read that it's bleeding. I was like, what the hell do you mean bleeding?
You gotta get all the air out of your motherboard, you know.
Right, there we go. It's going to be a crowded room, but it's going to be a lot of fun. One thing I want to point out from this perspective, you can see the rubber grommets, which definitely help with maintaining not only that black and white theme, but also it makes the cable management so much easier and simpler to follow. So, wait, are we doing those on the back?
Yeah,
I thought we're putting them all up front.
We were going to,
okay.
But it was hitting both tops, even if I scooted it all the way up. So this is the most optimal way.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which is really cool because now you have fans helping. Here, we can get a shot. Yeah. We're going to have fans helping the tie up as well, the airflow through the back of the case.
Gotcha. Because those will sit right there at the back, pulling air in, right?
Yep. Because we have those
Awesome.
slotted covers on the back.
Yeah, at least I'll be able to see when you got to dust your PC. Abso-freaking-lutely.
White is very hard to keep clean.
Yeah.
I have a white PC and I have to clean it all the time.
Well, I have 2 air
Worth
filters
it.
down here to keep things relatively clean and cool. This is going to be
And a whole
going
lot
to
less
be
hair than
amazeballs.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's see here. Yeah, the motherboard is absolutely incredible. And again, this is the ROG Strix. It's Maximus, a ROG Maximus
Formula.
Z90 Formula. Yeah. There's a whole range of Maximus boards, but I looked at the formula, and when we saw it was white, and that was when we thought we had the idea, we were super impressed by it. The board also has 3 buttons on the inside that are located on the top, which actually allow you to adjust several different things. Can you walk us through what those are?
Yeah, so a lot of those are used for benching or doing some troubleshooting, but you've got like a start button, a reset, and then what's the other one do? Flex key button. So that's for, like, let's say we had the board out, instead of plugging in finding a power button and hitting it, you can just press the start button on your motherboard and it'll start up from right there.
Nice.
So probably won't use those too much, but they are nice.
Yeah, I can't imagine I would be.
Numbers and stuff. If you just want to be cool and be like, hey, check this out, and open up your case and turn it on by pressing that, you could.
Which is kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
And the Live Dash LED is so cool. So first of all, it can be a hardware monitor and telling me everything about CPU temp, GPU temps, fan speeds. It's also got a formula exclusive special graphic that it plays, and it's a loop, and it's actually really cool. It will also let you know and walk you through the process of BIOS updates if and when you need to do that. Plus, you can customize the content on that screen to put all sorts of different things. I could probably put my logo in there. So, all sorts of fun stuff. Obviously, ASUS comes with its own, the motherboard comes with its own onboard software as well. That's very, very, well, I'd say it's extreme. It goes with the name. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm allergic to dust too. Yeah, I do. Like my air purifier sits behind this wall with near the intake or our ventilation for the house, and it just sits there and pumps all day long. Any thoughts on ASUS and their AMD issues? Radical, I'm not sure what that is, but I'll ask the boys.
I literally just learned about this like an hour or two before the stream on those new ASUS boards.
Well, if you just learned it, I probably don't know it.
Yeah, it seems like there's some issues going on. If you're asking, you probably know about it. Like most things on this show, whenever these problems come up, I'm sure that is happening. I don't like to make a judgment or really talk on it until I've seen it myself. So I haven't messed with that specific hardware to really know what's going on there. Yeah, I'm not trying to be safe or anything. I just don't like talking about stuff if I haven't dealt with it myself. So
I agree with you there.
Have there been any builds that the side panel is actually a monitor? Good question.
So I have seen that. I haven't seen any done here. That can be, I've seen it at like some conventions and stuff like that. It's pretty cool when that happens, when that's done. As far as practical, though, I don't think it's that practical.
I'm pretty sure we've done a couple open loops where like customers ordered it, but they've like wanted to install it themselves, so they do it at home.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I definitely think it's cool, especially if you get like just some cool design going on in there. But as far as like using it actually as a monitor, it's just not going to look as good as your monitor.
That looks great.
Mm-hmm. I'm super excited for just for the front. That front USB-C connector. I'm still jazzed about that. I've got a 2x2 on that.
Yeah.
The water cools the air. Oh yeah, you're talking about a swamp cooler, zombie.
Yeah, we've got.
That's what we call a swamp cooler. I used to have one of those in my parents' house a long time ago, and it was nuts because you could completely refresh the air in the house once it got cooler outside, and by just opening up a couple windows so it's got intake, and then it just sucks the air in through the underground basement, right, and shoves it right up the top and out those vents. It's wild.
I can show you what a swamp cooler is. It's this right here, except for you have water running down the fins instead of on the inside.
Yeah.
That's what a swamp cooler is.
Basically, yeah, that's a great example.
It's a fan on some cardboard fins that have water running over them to cool the air. That's it. It's a good design. We used them in the aircraft hangars when I was in the military. We've got a couple here, too.
Yep.
that will kick on in the summer.
Yeah. I know we had them in the Navy.
Yeah. The NFL uses them. If you ever watch any of those games, you see like the big fan that's on the sidelines. They use them.
Yeah.
Fan controllers.
Fan controllers? Oh, all right. I don't know why I'm holding on to those over here. Usually I put those over there.
Now, because it's still under 16 and it's 8 per controller, we're still only going to have to use 2 controllers for this.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
And they'll be daisy chained. Everything will all be linked up.
Sweet.
If you decide for whatever reason you don't want to use an RGB software and you want to use your remote, well then the motherboard button on there will sync up to the board and everything will look nice.
Yeah. Pretty sure we got 3 codes. Very possible. I'm going to be giving one out again on my stream here in a little bit, which would be great. Dude, I'm so excited. I also love the way those fans look on that NV7 behind you. I'll be honest. I'm so impressed with that NV7.
NV7's pretty
So
cool.
impressed with that case.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the 11. I like the Evolve. There's a lot of good cases right now.
Yep. And I think one of the smartest things I love about the O11, and I've said this before, is the fact that the power supply is located in a separate area. It pulls air in from a separate area. It exhausts air from a separate area. It's doing its own thing, and I'm definitely down for that. Now, for those who are wondering what that door is, because while we've got it on this spot, Jason, that door on the right-hand side, which is the vertical mount door, yeah, that thing. How does that work, and what's it used for?
All right, so that is for vertically mounting your GPU, and that you'd have to install some other stuff into your case. So there's a kind of a tray that you install, and then you'll need a ribbon cable to connect your video card to the PCIe slot, and that's so you can stand your card up. It's a strictly aesthetic thing. It does look pretty cool.
Looks great.
So yeah, that's what that is.
It doesn't really do much.
Now you got to be kind of careful because you can see it's kind of tucked out here on the case. So if you have a giant card, now it might
Yeah.
it might extend too far out and hit the glass.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get our
Here
power
we go.
supply out here, even though we've already got the cables out.
Yep. So here's, and for the
Get rid of
power
white
supply,
fan.
this is a really fun one.
I keep
I
ripping out
chose
that
a
cable.
There you go.
I chose a 1300 watt EVGA Supernova 13 GT 80 plus gold power supply. Now that may seem or feel like it's overkill, but I do plan on someday upgrading to a 40 series card, so I wanted to plan ahead on that and make sure I've got enough bandwidth when it comes to the power to ensure that it's going to be able to handle whatever we put into it. So it also allows for me to install for power to ensure connectivity with other music devices that I will be probably plugging into it.
We all know you're going to be mining
Hint, hint.
Bitcoin with it, DJ.
Oh my God, no. Look at the number of ports on that thing.
Boom, boom.
That looks like the windows to the Hard Rock Hotel when they were dancing in San Diego. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, that thing is incredible. So for this right here, let's talk a little bit about this. Obviously, I went with a modular instead of a non-modular. Explain to the folks what that means.
Yeah, so this is a fully modular, so none of the cables with this power supply come pre-soldered in. So that means that we can just use the cables that we need for this build, and that's going to have less restrictions for airflow, cleaner tie-up, just overall better look that way. Now we will include the extra cables, so if you end up adding a bunch of whatever to your system, DJ, you can just plug the cables in here and run them that way. So modular is definitely the way to go if you can. It is an area of a build that you can save some money on. So if you're really on a budget, you can go with a non-modular, as long as it's the same wattage and rating should perform the same. But if you've got the room,
you can afford it,
go with modular. It's the way.
Once
to
I
go.
made the switch to modular, it was game changing.
So what's overseas? So here, this was the balance on this was the fact that I could choose the white power supply that we carry, but it's not compatible with cable sleeves. So I ended up choosing, because it's gonna be in the back, I ended up going with that one, and it's a large one, so I've always got room for them. And yeah, it's just a little bit of darkness.
Yeah, and this won't be, like you mentioned, this won't be in the main body of the case. It'll be tucked there in the back. So, you know, it's not gonna throw off the aesthetic or anything. And like you said,
It's
now you get
Stormtrooper.
white Cablemod cables. So
And it's
that's
Stormtrooper,
cool.
so you got white with the black.
This is the bad one.
Yeah.
Throw it in the trash.
Throw it away.
I do have a rubber chicken. It's
what
my
was
Christmas
that?
chicken. People were like, we want to see the rubber chickens. I got that. I can do that. Now, again, this from the rear view on this, I can definitely see how that's going to be adding to that airflow with those fans on the back. Plus, we've got that air dam that will also be helping to, I would say, separate the airflow and really pull it through, ensuring proper cooling.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the amount of airflow you're going to have in this case, this is probably the most fans we've ever put in an 011. So, yeah, I mean, airflow ain't going to be an issue at all.
Yeah, this is going to be nice and cool.
And these fans are really quiet, too, so that is very nice.
Yep.
Back in the day, you had 13 fans in your system. That thing was going to sound like an aircraft taking off.
Right?
This one, you won't even know it's on if you turn the lights off.
I did get into a car with a rubber chicken that was in my backpack, and every time I leaned back on it, it would squawk. And I was apparently very entertained by this, and just kept rocking. It was honestly really fun. It was really fun. All right. Also, from this perspective, you can see the feet and that gap underneath the build. If you want to take a look, we can pull out that tray real fast and show you how easy it is to clean the 011.
Boom.
That's
There
it.
is our dust filter tray for the bottom. So that's all you got to do. Slide it out, wipe it down, slide it back in. You're good to go.
Yep. Right, that is how Tiger. That is how we met. I always used to carry a rubber chicken around in my pocket. I probably will start doing that again because I have been asked just a ridiculous amount of times by everybody, "Where's your chickens? Why don't you carry your chickens?" So I'm gonna start bringing more chickens with me. Now we've got a lot of cables going in here. When it comes to mounting your controllers, what are some best practices that you would advise for new people who are building their systems when it comes to your fan controllers and how you should mount them?
Well, since we have two fan controllers, Jason, if I can get a side shot. Yep. I have two stacked on top of each other, you can see. So what I always do, and it helps that it's white so you can kind of see what I'm doing, but I always start with my fans, plug them all in, and then, like I said, stack it on the fan controller, and then I will just go down the line and make sure everything is tucked away, and then I'll start going around doing actual tie-up, and I like to have this as like the center point like that. So the end result should look something like this. But it gets chaotic once you got, a lot of cables to be messing with.
We're getting all of this set up. So perhaps now's a good time for us to jump over and take a look at how I built my system on the CLX Gaming website. At CLXgaming.com, we like to try and make this as easy as possible for anybody to build the computer of their dreams. You can make sure that it meets your needs, not just from a technological standpoint, but also from a branding standpoint. For a myriad of different cases, colors, sizes, and designs, you can make this PC look exactly the way that you want it, exactly the way that you would like to see it, constantly, day after day, which is a great thing. You can choose everything from your motherboards to your cases, the designs on the outside, processors, and RAM, and don't worry, you don't have to be an expert in order to make it work. In the event that you happen to choose two things that aren't necessarily compatible, you'll see where the green button turns yellow and says solve conflict. So say you chose a motherboard that has DDR4 that works with DDR4 RAM, but you chose DDR5 RAM as your RAM. It's going to tell you, hey, you can either choose this RAM to meet with that board, or you have to choose between these boards that will work with that RAM. We make sure that everything is going to be functional before it goes back into the warehouse for testing, and then it is shipped off to you. From custom special designs to a myriad of sizes, from ITX all the way up to our biggest one, which is huge, you can choose the right thing for the right time and for the right price. So for all of your gaming needs, oh, actually, I forgot one other thing. Don't forget, if you're not comfortable building your own machine, that's okay. We have hundreds of ready-to-ship models available, already tested and sitting and waiting for a new home, and who knows, it might just be yours. So for all of your gaming needs, check it out right now at clxgaming.com and choose your PC for the future. Ta-da! There we go! Nice. And apparently we got more codes. People asking for more codes. Code. So much code. Yeah, this is gonna light up so well.
Oh yeah.
RGB
Yeah, the 4
feels
sticks of
nice.
RGB adds a lot too.
Yeah. You know, I'm excited. I'm gonna get to play Rainbow Six Siege with Ultra. I'll get to play Star Wars on Ultra. Like, just beyond jazzed about this. Yeah. You love all the clean lines, right? I like that the black is the accent. I'm also really jazzed at the IO shield. So one of the biggest concerns that I had when I was deciding on Destiny, oh my God, Destiny looks so good. One of the things that I was struggling with deciding on a board was taking a look at how many ports it had, how many USB ports it had, because as a content creator and streamer, we have lots of different peripherals that we hook up for different things and different reasons. Having enough to manage that on the back end is so incredibly important. So this is going to make sure that I can do all of it. Plus, this Wi-Fi 6E plus the 10 gig Ethernet port, the speeds, dog, the speeds. It's going to be nuts. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, the water. Yep. I see you guys looking. What you looking at?
The 3.0, that's what we're plugging in right now.
Oh, cool. For the front panel?
Yeah, with it being side mounted, it's a little tricky
Uh-oh.
to get in. Paul got it.
Easy peasy.
He's got the magic
Yeah,
touch.
let's go!
Yeah, it's a little
Oh,
tight
yeah, no,
there.
So it's interesting, whatsoever sees, or whatsoever sees, one of the cool things about this board is the Wi-Fi 6E and the Ethernet can be intermittent. They can balance back and forth. I mean, I'm obviously, my Nighthawk is right there. I'm looking at it. I'm probably 2 feet away from it, but I have everything hardwired with Cat 6. So
That's the way to do it.
I just game using my phone's internet, you know? That
Yeah,
T-Mobile
that's insane.
hotspot, baby.
I've tried that. Like on a road trip.
No lag.
Yeah, no lag.
No lag.
Hotspot's the best.
there we go. Getting that all in there.
All right, now we can start actually getting our power supply cables in, and
All
we're at a
right.
point where I need it now.
Now it's all coming together. Give you the
Yeah.
24 pin first. Is that sound
Nice.
good? This thick boy right here.
Yeah.
And again, all of the different markings on the board. This board is very well laid out in that sense of how it functions. And yeah. The unboxing video, here's the thing. There is 18 stairs from the street level up to my front porch. I am feeling like I need to physically tip my delivery driver for carrying this giant thing up that many stairs. It may take 2 people.
If
Yeah.
he gets it up
But the
there and
crates
leaves
are-
it without you knowing, just call an Uber and then just pay the Uber guy to get out and help you.
Yeah.
Give him a tip.
We have dollies. We do have dollies.
There you go.
Oh,
What's
there you
gonna
go.
suck
those,
is
are,
that
those are just to play
yeah.
with. I don't know.
Those are toys.
Wah, wah.
One thing that Paul and I noticed a while back was that the white cables, the white tubes for the AIO, when they're that close, they pick up the color. all around them. So we're gonna have so many different things lit up on this board. It's wild. Now, originally I had wanted I had asked for a lighting kit, but once we started talking about it, you know, because it's all white, it's gonna be so bright already. We decided to opt out of that. But the original plan was to have one on that inner black bar right there, just aimed right at the device. But again, I don't think we're gonna need it.
Yeah, if we put that light kit in there, you probably wouldn't even notice it was in there, or it would wash everything out, so. Oh.
Which one? Oh yeah, there's the white NV7 is back there. That is one heck of a well-lit PC. And of course, that's our giveaway PC, which is awesome. Yep.
You do 2
Alrighty.
cable combs in each of
Now
these.
we're putting in
Hayden?
the combs.
For what?
The video
cable?
card.
I would do 3.
Do 3.
3.
All right.
Now you say cable combs. So how many do they usually come with?
So this will come with like a whole kit
It
that's
comes
just
with
got
a baggie of just
Yeah,
a bunch.
it's a nice little baggie you'd get. So it's got enough for all of your cables. So you pretty much always end up with extra, since we're not, you know, installing our gross Molex cables or anything like that.
Our floppy disk.
Our floppy disk cables, yeah. How cool would a
Right.
sleeved floppy disk cable be?
They have.
You mean I'm not gonna be able to plug a floppy disk
No,
or
I
a
don't
CD
think
drive into this thing?
No, unfortunately not. It's time to upgrade to CDs.
I have to right there you go. All right. I truly appreciate the time and attention to detail you guys are giving to this build. I could not be happier right now.
Oh yeah, man.
We want it to look good.
I have a USB-C DVD drive, but
There you go.
that's for I got it for use with my old laptop.
Nice.
Yeah, they're cursed. Yep, Scarecrow does it every time. He just nails these designs. It's so incredible. This Thursday though, so 2 days from now, we're gonna be doing Drake's build, and it's gonna be incredible. I've seen it already, and just the designs, and it looks spectacular.
Need more combs.
I don't know what just happened. There was a bug on my forehead.
2 left.
Oh no! What do you mean? Zip ties?
No,
Combs.
it'll be fine.
We'll just go down to 2 on each.
Yeah.
Keep it consistent.
I'm also gonna zip tie it, so it should be fine.
For sure.
It'll look good.
Cool. Where can I get the original Oregon Trail? I mean, that was on a TRS-80, wasn't it?
eBay.
We had it.
Yeah.
Yep. You can get Oregon Trail actually on Steam. It's like $10.
Oh my goodness. Come on, Steam.
Right? Look at this. So much awesome, so much wow. Now I just need to figure out where I'm going to put this thing so that it's on camera.
Oh yeah.
We have SATAs?
Yes, we do. How many SATAs do you need? 4?
Give me 2 cables.
2 cables?
Probably need 5, but
5? Yeah. Okay. 2 for the fan controllers.
yep, we're gonna
1
have
for the case.
one for the
2 for the
case.
hot swap bays.
So
Okay.
5 is a good
Yep.
number just in case.
Sweet.
So I
Nice.
usually use a 4 and then a 2.
There we go.
That is awesome.
And a 6-pin video card connector.
Yeah.
Don't know if this will ever be relevant again. This is the new floppy disk cable right here.
That's the new floppy disk.
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay.
Boom, boom.
Alrighty, there goes the power supply.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
I don't know how you do it with these zip ties, Hayden. This would drive me crazy.
Sometimes they do drive me crazy, and I just cut them all.
Hayden's got all his zip ties hanging out, so y'all can do a zip tie guess
It's for
here
the
in a
game.
little bit.
That's why I keep them.
For
Yeah.
the game.
They start trying to count them.
I can tell you there is at least 7. I'll give you that.
Yeah, this is gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so cool.
DJ has to guess the count of the zip ties correctly, or he doesn't get the computer.
True.
God damn it.
If you're wrong, Hayden gets it.
Yep, it's mine now. We want you to have this, DJ.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, I am super excited.
So here with just Hayden installing that 24 pin, you can really see how effective those combs are at making that cable look just perfect. Right here.
Yeah, that there's such a difference in the way that it appears. It's great. One thing to just bring up that we haven't talked about yet is what I mentioned when we're talking about the RTS builds, and that is where these systems go from here.
So DJ's system, just like every other system we build here, once it's built and on, we're going to take it to our testing and integration department, and that's where we're going to, first of all, we're going to get into the BIOS, make sure our RAM speed is set correctly, all of our storage devices are showing up in there. Depending on the OS, there might be a couple settings we have to mess with. After that, we're going to load the operating systems, any games the customer wants, and then once that's done, we'll stress test the system for 12 hours. So we've got a few benchmarking softwares that we use. The main one is 3D Mark.
Prime 95.
Prime 95 we'll use if it's like integrated graphics chip, stuff like that. And what that allows us to do is, if one of these components allows the system to turn on and doesn't appear to be defective, but starts to fail when you're in a gaming environment, that allows us to catch that there, replace it here, and make sure that you get a stable system.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, any games you want on here, DJ?
Yeah, DJ, are there any games you need downloaded?
You want us to pre-download anything for you?
I mean, like Destiny 2. Well, I mean, that's all going to be in there with Steam anyway.
Steam.
So
Okay, yeah.
If there's anything outside of Steam,
Yeah, anything outside of Steam? Any League of Legends?
Oh,
you know, you a big League of Legends player? Solitaire?
No,
I think
no,
we can get
but I will
Solitaire
say-
on here for you.
Solitaire?
Solitaire Jesus.
Maybe,
Oregon
maybe-
I will
Trails?
say,
Yeah.
Mahjong. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, Mahjong.
Lil Fonzo, what am I doing with my old rig? That is an excellent question.
next
Right
month's
now, I
giveaway.
am. There we go. I am trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to be able to migrate anything over to because my streaming PC is the next thing that I have to work on because it is quickly becoming obsolete. It is a. Let's see here. Just so on my streaming PC, it is an AMD Ryzen 5 3600X, so it's a 6-core, which is a decent processor. It's got 16 gigs of DDR4 1800, or is that DDR3?
it should be
What's that?
DDR4.
2400 is DDR4, yep.
No, 1800.
18, that's DDR3, yep.
Okay, so I got DDR3 memory in there with a couple different hard drives. Obviously, I've got multiple. I've got 8, 9, 10 gigs of 10 terabytes of hard drive space and a 256 gig operating system hard drive, and then yeah, my GPU is an NVIDIA 1070. It's a GTX 1070, not even the R's. Yep. So it is, and that on top of that, it's all air cooled. So yeah. But like right now with OBS and everything else running on it and 3 monitors, that the CPU alone is running at like 65%. So it's doing its thing. It's chugging along.
Okay, zip ties.
Hey, there we go. It's a CLX giveaway. Who won? Cassid, how did I miss that was happening? I think I was answering questions and not watching the chat. That's my bad.
Zip tie guesses.
All right, zip tie guesses, chat.
How many do you think?
How many do you think? I told you it's more than 7. That's your hint for this stream. It's more than 7 and it's less than 70, I hope.
Yeah.
All right, we got 13, 10, 13, 14, 18, 16, 11. Okay. 17. Did you count them, Hayden?
Yep.
All right. We'll give you guys like 5 more seconds to get guesses in.
Uh-oh, how many do you think, people? A lot of stuff going on there. You just counted, didn't you?
1923. Okay. All right.
Interesting.
Hayden, tell
13.
us. 13. Lucky number 13. If you guess 13, you are smart.
Ta-da!
If you
Uchu got it?
well, I don't know.
Off by 1, so close. Mr. Pennywise, hello, how are you?
Alrighty, we're going into
All right.
the video card next.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to look so cool. Uh-oh. There we go. Now, we won't be needing an anti-sag bracket for this, will we?
We're gonna throw one.
I'm gonna throw one in just in case.
Just because? Yeah.
This is kind of borderline, but you know, we might as well get one in
Now,
there.
if it doesn't go in, it's not gonna.
Yeah, it might not go in with this motherboard, and if it doesn't, that's fine.
Gotcha.
This motherboard having all the razzle dazzle on there, you know. Might not fit. Think you got it last stream too? Oh man, we've got a good guesser.
Okay. Let's see where that's going. Did the doctor give you permission to continue living? That is an excellent question, Ivory. We appreciate that all the way around. Oh, I do know today I'm going to be playing some Destiny. Yeah, getting back in that Destiny 2. I want to finish up my battle pass.
Nice.
My seasonal pass.
Did you play any Diablo 4 this weekend?
Oh, yes, I did, and I'll be honest, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I played it too. I've been playing some Diablo 2. Wasn't really feeling the Diablo 2. It was fun, but Diablo 4 was pretty cool. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it yet. Diablo 3 was the only one that I really played. Never touched them.
Sorry,
it was cool.
I played Diablo 3.
4 was cool. I'm definitely interested. I was playing Necromancer, but I basically had to do like the first 2 quests like 5 times because my friends just kept getting on at weird times and we tried to get caught up. So I like hit level 20 without even completing everything. So it was cool though.
Let's see.
All right.
Oh, nice, Tempers. That's awesome.
ready?
Alrighty, video card going in.
Alrighty. So we got that in there. That way we've at least got it in place. Look at that. Oh, it does. It fits right across that top.
Yeah, the brackets should be fine.
Here we go.
Oh my God, this thing looks wild.
What? You did, Drake? Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I will definitely get it down. I downloaded
Nice,
the
dude.
base game after we talked just to have it on there. So
Oh, dude, you got to come hang out and run
appreciate
and raid with us.
yeah, I really loved Destiny when I was playing it. I just kind of fell out of it and then never really wanted to buy back in. So I was a big Halo fan back in the day, and it feels like MMO Halo kind of. So yeah, just the shooting is really fun. So that's sick, man. I appreciate that.
That is awesome. He likes codes. So many codes.
Yeah.
This
So much code. So much wow.
looks so good.
Ooh, yeah, that does look good.
Ba-da-bum.
We can do. Hayden's doing what? One zip tie down here to put bundle of cables, and we'll flip this thing around and show you guys. DJ,
I'm
this
so
thing is awesome.
flipping
man.
excited.
This
Yeah,
thing
it's
is
gonna
And
be
I will be
really
having-
cool.
We will have codes today on the show. Don't you worry, people.
I just want to get
Don't
these
you worry.
cable combs all nice before we do the reveal.
That is doing an extra good job on building yours. Dude, they do incredible jobs all the time.
Okay. There we go.
Look at that.
Look at that. That looks so good.
Beautiful. Alrighty, so are we good to put panels on
We
now,
are.
Hayden? We're gonna go to
Start
panels
with the
next.
white, the back
Okay.
cover plate.
Yeah, is that over here? Do I have? Oh yeah, I do have that.
I have the screws.
You've got the screws. Good. I always lose these screws.
Oh, this looks phenomenal.
All right, so I'm going to rotate this a little bit to show you guys the cable management panel, that air dam that DJ had mentioned earlier. So this is about
Yes.
where I'm going to get it at. So you can see the tie-up already looks great with everything here. Well, we are going to put this panel on. This is kind of to cover up those cables, and then it has a little lip here that will keep the air coming in, going in through the radiator.
Which is so cool. And now I finally get to see why that's important, especially when you're considering it's got to be pulling in through those little slats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cords back in there, aren't there?
Oh, my biggest fan says they have a code for me. Okay, okay.
oh,
You can slide into my
What's up,
DM.
Kyle's in the house? Thank you, dude, again for the design. I'm glad we worked on it the way that we did, and I'm really looking forward to how that semi-transparency up on the top is going to come out. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, I didn't mean to take any of your screws. If I
Just
did,
busy?
I'll
Yeah.
Just put them over here.
You're good.
One of the things I love about this case is the fact that the top slider, the top piece, it's switched. You flick a switch up to pull it back.
I just got to point out the star on the front real quick. That's not a LED light that's on. That's just the panel. Like, that looks so good.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so now we get to throw on all the nice panels here.
Yeah, I'm glad we decided to go with the black instead of the white on the front.
Yeah, this is going to look really good with everything on. And it's nice, like, when it's dark and there's no glare, you can kind of just see the X and the rainbow color. Like, that looks so
You
cool.
want to put that one in the front?
Yeah.
You got this one.
Yeah, we'll trade.
We could fight each other with these panels right now.
They just shatter all
Chase,
over the
no.
studio.
We'd be shattering glass and dreams all at the same time.
The back panel's my favorite.
Back panel's your favorite?
Yeah.
Back panel's good.
Well, it's really cool because with an internal white design, like that's something that hasn't been that we haven't really done, and we turned it into a very nighttime build on the outside, but the inside's a whole different story. Look at that. I love how that wraps around.
That squirted over there when I spread it. Sorry if that hit you.
I do love the fact we've got a little bit of pride on there. Thought of just being dominant as a theme. You know, just a little bit.
A little sprinkle.
Looks nice.
Oh, so Mike, here's the thing. Yeah, well, yes, absolutely. He is using a standard screwdriver. The problem is that we had to take the power tools away from him because he builds things too fast, and we don't have enough time to talk about all the components, all the parts, all the yeah. So he's not allowed to necessarily use those.
They're banned.
Okay. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Let's see.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna get this kind of in shot.
Without
and
a
let's
glare.
put it. Let's move it that way on the table.
There we go.
Let's keep going. Let's move the whole one this way.
Okay.
Right there. Alrighty.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Are we ready?
All right. So yeah, let's plug in the cable. We won't turn it on yet.
So flippin' excited. This is gonna be awesome.
Hit that power switch.
And I hope that,
we'll
that bottom should light up just like.
Ooh,
Oh.
there's the hint.
Oh,
there's the
there's
hint.
the little GIF I was talking about on the screen.
There we go. Alrighty.
Oh, the tubes cover the screen. That's hilarious.
From the shot, yeah.
Oh, from this shot? Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah, you'll
if
be
you
able
can
to see
see
it
right
from
now, there's a guy holding a katana just slicing through. It's really
That's
cool.
pretty sick.
Oh,
Have you
that's
seen it, Paul?
great.
Yeah,
It's like the best.
that is crazy.
I can see the
feel
ROG
like
is
we have
lighting
to
up on the
show
far
that.
side.
No, yeah,
Hold
we
on,
have
we're
to
gonna
show
rotate
it. We're
this
gonna
before
show
we
it before
turn
we
it
turn
on.
it on. There's a guy,
Oh, look
like
at
a
that.
samurai,
Screen in there.
slicing a katana.
ROG formula.
It's hard to pick it up.
That's so cool.
That's Hayden in there.
Yeah, that's me.
Hacking his enemies.
That's me.
Alrighty.
We're gonna try
Let's
to
do it.
zoom in on that little screen there. Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
See, Kill Bill Volume 2.
That's so awesome.
It's basically what it is.
That's cool.
God, that was a great series, you know?
It was. It really was.
Kill Bill? Yeah, absolutely amazing.
All right, we'll rotate
This looks
back.
twistedly good.
Get the glare off here. How about there,
There we go.
Jason? Good.
All right,
good.
You want to do the
Alrighty.
honors?
No, you built it,
Okay.
Hayden. You do it.
All right, ready? DJ,
Here
are
we
you
go.
ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 3, 2.
What? Oh my God, that's amazing! And the world is alive. That did exactly what we talked about it doing. It lights up the planet from underneath. Oh my gosh!
That is so
this
cool.
turned out
That looks like, yeah, it looks like a
fantastic.
city on Earth. That is really cool.
what?
Oh my God, that is cool. And
If
the
we can get a
RGB on the front of the
remote.
video card too.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Get these synced up. Now they're synced to the board. Everything is synced. That looks so good.
That looks so amazing.
That does look good.
Congratulations, DJ.
That is perfect. That is just awesome. So the whole point was because I use the Earth and is in my branding, and so what I was hoping was that it would just light up the planet from the backside, so you can see some of the city lights, and this does. It looks like a planet that is having a party. Oh my gosh.
It's Las Vegas right there.
yeah.
Yeah. This looks so good.
The
So
white
good.
card. The white card.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white, and you can see my name on it, but it's not super overtoned. But oh my gosh, this looks just absolutely astounding. I'm so jazzed about this thing. So jazzed. Thank you all so much for this. I cannot thank you all enough. This is truly incredible.
It was an honor
And the
to
back-
build it.
Oh man, I appreciate. Look at that. It's so cool. That is just, yeah, that's rad. And can you see the lights through the back?
Yeah, we can, yeah, let's rotate
Kind of
it
hard
a
to
little bit.
show, but since we did that whole push-pull through, you can see.
Oh my God,
There you go.
that is awesome.
You got RGB everywhere.
Listen, it's bright like me.
Hey, you can see
Except for it's
we have a
smarter than I am.
post error because we're not hooked up to a monitor.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Our M.2 cover is telling us, hey, you're not plugged into a monitor. So that is kind of cool.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
A little post error.
That is
See
so
that
great.
right there?
Yep.
So,
Well, let's go ahead and go over one more time what's inside of this amazing build by CLX, and a huge thank you to them for giving me this. This is incredible. This build consists of a custom O11 Lian Li case that has obviously been designed by the gods. It's actually absolutely incredible. It's got an Intel Core i9-13900KF processor that's mounted on an ASUS ROG Maximus Z690 Formula D5 motherboard. It has 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 Kingston RAM, and the operating system hard drive is going to be a 1 terabyte Samsung 980 Pro PCIe NVMe. The storage drive is a 4 terabyte Seagate FireCuda 530 NVMe. And of course, we've got a Glacier One by Phanteks. It's going to be the liquid cooler with 13 different Game DS AEOLUS fans in white, a white cable sleeve kit, a 1300 watt EVGA Supernova 13 GT 80 plus gold, and the icing on the cake, it's coming with a special overclock edition white of the ASUS ROG Strix 3090 graphics card. All of this is going to be overclocked, both the CPU and the GPU, by the experts there on in-house. I love it. Absolutely incredible. Okay. Sorry, just getting some things in production real quick. That being said, let's we got this show comes in two different parts today. Obviously, as usual, we're going to take our little bit of a break, and when we come back, Hayden is going to spend the afternoon building with you all, and I'm excited, so excited for this, and to hear how it operates and how it functions over there once it gets in testing. I'll be looking forward to updates constantly. Don't forget, you can find out more about our giveaway at Give NV7 in the chat. Follow the link and do all the entries, because on top of the codes, you also have some people and things to follow. You can find codes and more entries on our social media, as well as following us on our social media for all the latest updates and greatest news on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter at CLX Gaming. If you'd like to join our amazing community, you can head on over to discord.gg/CLX Gaming and not only talk with like-minded people, but get your questions answered when you ask them, or at least, we'll do our best to. You can also check out our show every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 Eastern. And of course, Thursday's show is a special one because we've got AMD and Lost Drake is going to be on it. Tuesday's our special celebratory show. We've got celebrating 25,000 followers on our Twitch channel, which is incredible. So all of that and more, and it's all right here on Twitch. So on behalf of Kyle and Jason, Paul and Hayden, I'm DJ BluePDX. Don't go away. We've got more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Abukate